Shri Gurubhyo Namaha children. Now we will start the fourth part of the lesson. Should wizard hit mummy? Jo was starting to fuss with her hands and look out of the window at the crack of the day that showed under the shade. Shade is nothing but curtains. And she was just tossing this side and that side, and she was not attentive to what the father was telling. Crack of the day, it is bright daylight. Actually, the story is being narrated in the afternoon by her father on a Saturday. Okay? So, it showed that she was not interested at this point in listening to the story because the main objective of the story is over. Roger Skunk is now smelling roses. So she thought that the story is over. She thought the story was all over. Jack didn't like women when they took anything for granted. He liked them apprehensive, hanging on his words. Now, Jo, are you listening? Apprehensive? Doubtful. Hanging, continuing. So he was continuing the stories there and he was asking, are you listening? The story is still not over. He was speaking in that tone. Yes, because this is interesting, Roger Skunk's mummy said. What's that awful smell? So, all creatures were happy that Roger Skunk was smelling roses. But Roger Skunk's mummy was telling, what's that awful smell? Awful smell, unpleasant smell. Which smell was unpleasant? Roses. Smell of roses was unpleasant for Roger Skunk's mummy. What? And Roger Skunk said, it's me, mummy. I smell like roses. And she said, who made you smell like that? And he said, the wizard. And she said, well, of all the nerve, you come with me and we are going right back to that very awful wizard. All the nerve, courage. Nerve means courage. So she says, gather your courage. Now I am going to do something to you. You are going to come along with me to the wizard once again. You come with me and we are going right back to that very awful wizard. She doesn't like the wizard as well. Jo sat up, her hands dabbling in the air with genuine fright. Dabbling, it means here waving in the air. So she was waving her hand in the air here. But Daddy, then he said about the other little animals run away. Her hands skittered off into the underbrush. Skittered, moved very quickly. Into the underbrush. Underbrush is nothing but thick growth. Actually, it is thick growth. Now here, it is under the bed sheet. Now she was all tucked with the bed sheet. Her father wants her to sleep. So her hands were moving inside the bed sheet. All right, he said, but mummy, all the other little animals run away. And she said, I don't care. You smell the way a little skunk should have, and I am going to take you right back to the wizard. And she took an umbrella and went back with Roger Skunk and hit the wizard right over his head. No, Jo said, and put her hand out to touch his lips. Yet, even in her agitation, did not quite dare to stop the source of truth. Inspiration came to her. Then the wizard hit her on the head and did not change the little skunk back. So she completed the story. Father said, Mummy took wizard, took Roger skunk, went straight to the wizard. She took an umbrella with her, and with the umbrella she hit the wizard on top of his head. Now this girl was more enthusiastic, she was telling. So immediately the wizard hit back the mummy. She wants the story to end like that because she doesn't want Roger skunk to change away from the smelling of roses to awful smell of skunk once again. No, he said. The wizard said okay, and Roger skunk did not smell of roses anymore. He smelled very bad again. But the other little, Joan, it's Dad's story. Shall Daddy not tell you any more stories? Her broad face looked at him through sifted light, astounded. Sifted? Passed through something. Some thoughts. She was thinking something over there. Astounded, shocked. Some calculation going in her mind. So earlier when he smelled roses, all the animals were happy to play with him. Now, once again the wizard has changed the skunk to awful smelling skunk. So that thought was going on in her mind. And she wanted her daddy to conclude the story differently. But daddy was very stubborn and he said, it is daddy's story. If you want daddy to tell stories, listen to what daddy says. Her broad face looked at him through sifted light, astounded. This is what happened then. So, ultimately what happened? Roger skunk once again turned to awful smelling skunk. Roger skunk and his mummy went home and they heard ooh, and it was the choo-choo train bringing daddy skunk home from Boston. And they had lima beans, celery, liver, mashed potatoes and pie oh my for dessert. So lima beans is a type of tropical, it's a vegetable, tropical vegetable. Celery, it's a vegetable which is with long pale green stem. This is celery. So every story, daddy used to complete the story with the food they used to consume for dinner. So here he says, the choo-choo train brought daddy back home from Boston and they had lima beans, celery, liver, mashed potatoes and pie oh my for dessert. Dessert is the sweet that you have after completing any food. And when Roger skunk was in bed, Mummy skunk came up and hugged him and said, he smelled like a little baby skunk again and she loved him very much. And that's the end of the story. So, this daddy completes the story. Now Roger skunk was smelling once again like awful smelling skunk and the mother was so happy to see that her baby was once again smelling like skunk. But daddy, what? Then the other little animals run away? No, because eventually they got used to the way he was and did not mind it at all. Eventually, ultimately. So ultimately, the other creatures, they did not bother. They got used to this awful smelling Roger skunk. What's eventuality? The little girl was not able to make out the word eventually when her father said. So she is telling in her own words. In a little while, that was a stupid mummy. So she was pausing for some time. Then she said, the mummy was stupid. Will a mother ever make the roses smelling skunk to once again awful smelling skunk? The thought is going on, ringing in her minds. It was not, he said with rare emphasis. Emphasis, stress. So he stressed. Mummy was not stupid. Mummy was reasonable. Now what is the reason why father is telling that with a stress? Every child has to understand that parents will only do good for them and they will only tell what is good to them. So father Jack over here is also stressing to Joe what mother skunk did was right, and believed from her expression that she realized he was defending his own mother to her, or something as odd, defending, supporting. So now why father is telling like that? Even this girl has to understand that whatever her parents say is correct and she has to agree to it, because being a small girl she doesn't know much about it. Now I want you to put your big heavy head in the pillow and have a good long nap. He adjusted the shade so not even a crack of day showed, and tiptoed to the door. Adjusted the shade. Shade is nothing but the curtain, so that the broad daylight doesn't enter into the room. And tiptoed to the door. Why should he tiptoe? Because there was one another baby who was sleeping and he should not wake up in the noise that was made by him as well as Joe, in the pretense that she was already asleep, and in fact he had told her to lie down, and as though it's in a pretense as though she was asleep, he was walking slowly to the door. But when he turned, she was crouching on top of the covers and staring at him. Hey, get under the covers and fall fast asleep. Bobby's asleep. She stood up and bounced gingerly on the springs. Bounced gingerly, jumped. Making with some hesitation. What the father will say with some hesitation, she was jumping on the bed. What? Tomorrow I want you to tell me the story that the wizard took the magic wand and hit the mummy. Her plump arms chopped forcefully right over the head. So she wanted the story to end in a different way. So she was telling, tomorrow you end the story like this. What? Wizard should take the magic wand, hit the mummy on her head. Her plump arms chopped forcefully. So she took her hand and she just hit like that to show that wizard also hit mummy in that way, right over the head. And she was telling that like the mummy hit wizard on the head, wizard should also hit her on the head. No, that's not the story. The point is that the little skunk loved his mummy more than he loved all the other little animals, and she knew what was right. So he said, no, that's not the story, and said the little skunk knew what the mother said was right, and so no more he bothered about it. No, tomorrow you say he hit the mummy. Do it. She kicked her legs up and sat down on the bed with a great heave. Heave, lift. And complaint of springs. So there was so much of noise when she was jumping and jumping on the bed. And father was so scared that she is going to wake up the brother also. And as she had done hundreds of times before, except that this time she did not laugh. Say it, Daddy. Every time whenever she jumps on the bed, it used to be in happiness. But now here, it was not like that. She was insisting her father to say that the next day the wizard hit mummy. Well, we'll see. Now at least have rest. Stay on the bed. You are a good girl. He closed the door and went downstairs. Claire had spread the newspapers and opened the paint can, and wearing an old shirt of his on top of a maternity smock. Smock is nothing but a loose, long shirt. She was wearing it on her maternity dress, was stroking the chair rail with a dip brush. So she was just painting the chair rail, that is the handle of the chair. Above him, footsteps vibrated and he called, Joan, shall I come up there and spank you? Spank you means beat you. He was telling her, shall I beat you? The footsteps hesitated. So the girl hesitated from coming out of the room. That was a long story, Claire said. So he was held up in the room. Claire was doing her job alone. So she is just asking him. The poor kid, he answered, and with utter weariness. Weariness, tiredness. He was totally tired that day because he was telling the story to his daughter, who was nowadays not ready to listen to the stories. The poor kid, he answered, and with utter weariness watched his wife labor working over there. The woodwork, a cage of moldings and rails and baseboards all around them was half old tan and half new ivory. Tan is that leather color, okay? And he felt caught in an ugly middle position. Now he was in between. He feels as though he is caught in something. And though he was well felt his wife's presence in the cage with him, he did not want to speak with her, work with her, touch her, anything. Cage here is web. They are all caught in a web. What is the web? At times we have to accept things as it goes by. Now he narrated a story to his daughter. And he told her that she has to accept the course of the story. And now he is realizing that everybody is also held up in a story like this in this world. And we are at times allowed to accept as things goes by. So, it's just a funny story which talks about the wizard and then the course of the story. But the reality is we are all linked together or caught together in some sort of actions going on. And here the same thing, Joe was just thinking about what is going on in the story as said by Jack. But Jack understood that it is not only the story that he told his daughter, but also how they are all caught in a web like that, and at times they have to accept the reality. Thank you, children. We have come to the end of the story. To receive our online lessons, please press subscribe button for the latest updates. Thank you.